Good morning, how are you? Happy Saturday. So, before I start, thank you for being here. And this is my new book, The Healing Self with Rudy Tanzi, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immunity and stay well for life. So if you want, you can pre-order it now online. It should be out in about 2 weeks. January 30th is the release date. Hello Ramanand, hello Rishikesh, hello Carla, hello Mirjana, hello Mary, hello Carla. Okay, but now let me get on with my conversation today. And one more thing, you can write to me. The email is info@jayo.com. Once again, info @jayo.com. And you can send me questions, mail your comments, download the app Jayo, and also go on the web if you have time, ability or desire, and go to jayo.com. And there's a section there called My Story. Share your story with all of us. Once again, My Story on jayo.com. Your story, whatever it is, and how you're transforming your life, discovering yourself, share your insights, and let's hang out together. The goal, ultimately, the goal is to create that critical mass for a more peaceful, just, sustainable, healthier, and joyful world. Okay, so today's topic, very dear to me, Ramanand Dikshit, thank you, love you too. Okay, today's topic, very, very, very dear to me. It's about waking up. It's about letting go and flow. It's about enjoying the dream that we call everyday reality. Okay, so lots of things to talk about today. Letting go and enjoying the flow, being in the flow, waking up from the dream we call everyday reality, but also enjoying it as an experience. Okay, so let's first go on the intellectual part of it, and then the practical part of it, and maybe even the meditation. So let's do that right this moment. Here's a practice that I do every day, and I want to share it with you. Some of you probably know about it. It's a combination of what is called recapitulation and yoga nidra. I've been doing it for many years, and now I have refined it, and I'll also tell you what the refinement is. So here's the practice that I do every day, before I go to sleep. Okay, so before I go to sleep, I sit up in bed and I do this process called recapitulation. So what I do is I close my eyes, and on the screen of my consciousness, I recapitulate the day visually, and also, if possible, on the auditory level, and if possible, on every other level of sensory experience, which includes sensations and textures and tastes and smells and sights and conversations. So let me give you an example. Yesterday, let me share with you my recapitulation of yesterday. So yesterday, when I woke up, I first of all spent about 5-10 minutes recalling my dreams. Then I did about an hour plus of meditation. My form of meditation is reflective self-inquiry and then mantra meditation. Then I went to my yoga class and did an hour of yoga with my teacher Sarah Finger. Then I came home and I had a quick shower. Then I took an Uber to 35th Street, and I did an appearance on Bold Television, Bold TV, about the state of leadership in the world and my idea of conscious leadership. Then I got out of that show about 10:30, 10:35, and I got an Uber and went up to Park Avenue to have a meeting with a friend who's doing research on near-death experiences. And then after lunch, I came home and I, of course, also did my podcast in the morning. And then I came home and then I did another short meditation. And then we had people over for dinner, a cancer researcher, a filmmaker, and expert on art, a neuroscientist, all men and women, a philanthropist from Europe, and a musician. We had a dinner right here where I'm sitting right now in the dining room of my apartment, and then the dinner was over by about 9, and then I did the recapitulation that I just gave you an example of. So everything I told you, I sat and on the screen of my consciousness, I re-experienced it, but in less than 5 minutes, maybe 5-6 minutes. I saw the scenes, I heard the conversations, I actually tasted and smelled the food that I had already had, and then I told myself, it's over, it's gone. So by last night, yesterday was already a dream. It was a very fulfilling day, but it was already a dream. Okay? Then I opened my eyes again, and then I looked around, and I said to myself, mentally, this is I don't have to do this with effort, it just happens automatically. So I opened my eyes, looked around at shapes, colors, forms, and then I closed my eyes, and I said to myself, that which I just saw right now is already a dream. So since it's a dream, it's not present anymore. I let it go. Okay, then I slowly went into Yoga Nidra. So having closed my eyes, I shut off the visual world, and then I put my attention to all the sounds. I could hear the hum of the air conditioner and nothing else. That was the only sound I could hear at that moment. And then I took my awareness away from the sound, put it on the sensations on my body, And the only experience then I had of my body with my eyes closed was spotty sensations here and there, intermittent, coming and going. And then I took my attention away from them. They disappeared. Then I put my attention on my breath, and I just observed it till it got softer and softer, and then I allowed myself to rest in awareness without any perceptual or mental experience. And the last thought as I drifted off into sleep was, just as I observe my day right now, I'm going to observe my night. And so then I was resting in infinite being, and I experienced the night in witnessing awareness, observing the dream state, and then even observing body-mind asleep. And then I woke up this morning and recapitulated the night. So this is what I do every day, okay? You say, what's the point of it all? And the point of it is that the more I do it, and now it's a habit, I'm in the habit of letting go of that which doesn't exist, which is what has happened. And then my identity moves from body-mind to the witnessing awareness in which body-mind and the whole world is an ongoing dream. So I shift my identity to the witnessing awareness in which the body-mind and everything that goes with it is already a dream. Now, here's something even more interesting that has happened over the years. Every day, even during the day, I become aware that what I'm experiencing right now, what we call right now, what I'm experiencing right now, that I'm speaking to you right now, is already a dream. Is already a dream. So what you're experiencing right now is already a dream. So when we started this live podcast, that's over, right? By the time you hear the sound of my voice, it's over. By the time this picture in the back and me on your screen registers in your awareness, it's over. So the past is not here. The future is also a dream. And that which we call the present perceptually and experientially is also a dream, because it is over as soon as we experience it. The whole thing is a dream. And just being aware of this is very, very freeing. What is not the dream is the witnessing awareness in which the dream is occurring, in which the dream that I call my childhood happened, my teenage years happened, my youth happened, and where this is happening. All a dream. The only constant is the awareness, the witnessing awareness in which the stream is constantly arising and subsiding. And the dream includes that which I call a body, because this is not the same body as it was yesterday. Every breath brings in atoms from the universe. Every breath contributes atoms to the universe. Every morsel of food that comes in becomes this body. Every elimination recycles this body with the rest of the ecosystem. So the body is a dream, the mind is a dream, the world is a dream. As the Buddha said, this lifetime of ours is transient as autumn clouds. To watch the birth and death of beings is like looking at the movements of a dance. A lifetime is like a flash of lightning in the sky, rushing by like a torrent down a steep mountain. But me, the witnessing awareness, is eternally watching the dream. And soon I begin to watch that which is watching. I become the witness of the witness. And the witness is silent, non-judgmental, watching. And there is fullness of experience even as the experience arises and subsides. And then there are choices that can be made in the eternal now that can upgrade the dream. So all there is the witnessing awareness, which slowly drops into the witness of the witness, and ultimately the witness also drops, and all that's left is eternal being. Okay, so that's the exercise. Now give me 15 seconds to let Facebook talk about their dream, if they are going to, and then after 15 seconds, while you reflect, I'll be back to complete this. Okay, so far if you followed me, you say, how is this freeing you? And the reason it's freeing you is that you can enjoy the dream and not be bound by it. The awareness in which thoughts arise and subside, feelings arise and subside, perceptions arise and subside, that which we call the body, the world, people, situations, circumstances, events, they're all like arising and subsiding and passing by on the screen of being. Only being remains while everything passes by, comes and goes. So this is what it means in the great, great traditions of wisdom, is to not be bound by karma. Okay, to be bound by karma is to try and grasp, cling to, attach yourself, stick to that which is ungraspable. You cannot grasp a movement. It's like trying to grasp a breeze. It's trying to grasp a wisp of smoke disappearing into the atmosphere. So, yet this is what people do. Traumatic memories, and then they even go further. They say they're in my body. Well, the body is part of the dream. The brain, so-called brain, that remembers is not the brain that registered the experience, if it was the brain. But the deeper reality is that even the brain is part of the dream. Because the brain is a process, and the process cannot be grasped. The body is a process, the body cannot be grasped. The mind is a process, the mind cannot be grasped. And situations, circumstances, events are all processes that are basically fluctuations of consciousness, excitations of consciousness, quivering of consciousness, movements of consciousness, consciousness remains still and moves at the same time. When it moves, that's the dream. When it is still, it's the dreamer. And they're both actually essentially the same thing. The dream is made out of consciousness. So right now, look around you, wherever you are. Look at the screen. Look at your own body. And if you're having thoughts, observe them. And know that even as you're experiencing them, they're arising, subsiding, and are gone. And let it go. Ramananda Dixit, consciousness trembles into contractions that appear as the dream. Yes. That's what Lord Shiva says too. The excited state of consciousness is the universe, and the quiet state of consciousness is eternal being, bliss. But it's all consciousness. It's all consciousness. The dreamer is consciousness, and the dream is consciousness. So to let go is also to flow. Let go is also to flow. And when you flow, there is lightness of being. Lightness of being. Minerva, Om Namo Shivaya. Lightness of being is also flow. To wake up to the dream is to wake up to the awareness in which the dream is happening. To enjoy the dream is to have the fullness of experience and not be bound by it. To have the fullness of experience as it passes by. All that is flow and lightness of being. But it also creates the experience of a joyful, energetic body. It also creates the experience of immense inseparability and interconnectedness with all that is. The experience that we can call Aham Brahmasmi. I am the universe. It creates, as a result of this inseparability with all that is, a very joyful, energetic heart. It creates a reflective, alert, creative, intuitive, insightful mind. But most importantly, it creates lightness of being. So joyful, energetic body, loving, compassionate heart, reflective, alert mind, lightness of being, they're all you. This is what Rumi means when he says, why do you stay in prison when the door is wide open? Why do you stay in prison when the door is wide open? There is no fear in this state, because that which is witnessing the dream is not in time. Only the dream is in time. Only the dream is in time. You are not in time. That is what it means. That's why Lord Krishna also says, water cannot wet it, wind cannot dry it, weapons cannot shatter it, fire cannot burn it, because it is eternal, timeless, and not subject to birth or death. And it is you. Tattvam asi. Tattvam asi. Satchitanand. Aham Brahmasmi. Right now the collective dream has become a nightmare, but you don't have to participate in it. Okay? You can upgrade the dream for yourself and then hang out here with me and with each other and on Jayo, and you can upgrade your dream, move from the nightmare to a heavenly dream, and just rest in that awareness, rest in that being, rest in that existence. So everything that I said right now is already a dream. But you can come back and replay it if you want. And as we move into the next chapter of our dream, I will be also sharing insights from the Healing Self, which is coming out in 2 weeks, a book with Rudy Tanzi, a revolutionary new plan to supercharge your immunity and stay well for life. But understand that life is not the opposite of death. Birth and death are opposites. Life is the continuum of birth and death in eternal now. Thank you for being part of my dream.